And we got beef between Marlon Wayans and DJ Vlad,
DJ
another
Vlad.
member of the hip hop community, Mr. Vlad. Um, Vlad and Michael Rubin together. I wonder if Vlad goes to Michael Rubin's white parties. Um,
He probably do.
but Marlon Wayans and Vlad got into a heated back and forth on the interweb
Hmm.
because Vlad was trying to check Marlon Wayans on Marlon suggesting that his price to do an interview is 40,000, and Vlad was like, "No, you're not worth 40,000. You're delusional if you think that you're worth a 40,000 asking price," which spiraled into a back and forth between the two, and basically Marlon going in on him and roasting Vlad, and Vlad doing his usual smart guy retort, right? So
Hmm.
this says Marlon Wayans roasts DJ Vlad after he claims the comedian isn't worth 40K. Marlon Wayans and DJ Vlad engaged in a war of words over the weekend after the blogger insisted that the comedian wasn't worth $40,000. It all began on Friday, which was August 9th, when Vlad uploaded an interview with comedian Aries Spears, in which they talked about Marlon asking for $40,000 to appear in an interview for his platform. The viral video caught the Legends fans' attention, to which they opined that Marlon's price wasn't even that high and usually charged more. The Bel Air thespian agreed, saying he was trying to cut him a deal. Vlad shot back at the actor and argued that he only brings in 100,000 to 300,000 views across his interviews on other platforms, so his asking price isn't worth it. But Marlon had time for the controversial blogger, saying, "You mad? You unprofessional, my guy. If you don't like the number, keep it moving. You look bad. You should fall back. Mad at black man stating his number, and now you go public and use your platform to try to drag me. I never in my life dealt with this silly negotiating tactic." Vlad quickly responded, doubling down on his assertion that he finds all this amusing because you really think that you're worth $40,000 for an interview. So here's some of the responses. Here was one person who was a fan of Marlon saying, "You a good one because DJ Vlad would have had to pay me 500,000 for an interview with 55% of all revenue made from the video on all platforms." And Marlon responded, "See, I tried to tell him I was giving him a deal. Oh well."
Hmm.
Here's another response from DJ Vlad. Marlon Wayans found someone with 200 followers to agree with him. LOL, nobody on earth is going to pay Marlon $40,000 for an interview when he gets 100,000 to 300,000 views on any platform he interviews on. This guy is really delusional. The White Chicks entertainer fought the belief that he wasn't worth his asking price and continued an onslaught on the Ukraine born talking head. "I'm worth whatever I say. People like you don't make or break me, champ. I'm self made. I go where I choose. I don't like your tactics. I've been a gentleman. I didn't express my grievances with other people. You trying to turn other black men in my field on me, asking them about my money." As Marlon began making jokes about Vlad's beard and hair transplants, the pundit began attacking the Wayans brothers' sexuality, claiming that he was homosexual. Marlon Wayans, "I'm sorry that you don't find me attractive. Fortunately for both of us, I'm heterosexual." Vlad
Whoa.
then called out his recent gay photo shoot and dressing up as a woman in White Chicks as evidence that Marlon to come out of the closet. So yeah, as you can see, this pretty much just disintegrated into ridiculousness. Yo, at DJ Vlad, your beard made from Ice Spice's ass hair. One of one of Marlon's posts read, "Hey, shave some of that BS nappy beard and use it the next time you go to Turkey to get one of the hair transplants you be getting. Yo,
Damn.
at DJ Vlad, your beard look like roadkill, like some animal I hit on my way to Poconos." Here's more of the back and forth. Not mad at all. I find all this amusing because you really think that you're worth $40,000 for an interview. I said, "There's nobody on earth that will pay you that, and I have yet to be proven wrong. Throwing out a stupid ass number for an interview is unprofessional, my guy." And Marlon responded, "You've been teetering on disrespect, and I've been a gentleman up until this point. This was tactless, unprofessional, and petty. You out here trying to tear down a king. You trying to instigate beef within my community and peers. It won't happen, fella. I'm loved." All right, so that's enough. You get the point. These guys are digging their toes in the sand. They won't get smoked out of their holes. Marlon believes he was cutting Vlad a deal at $40,000 to appear on his platform. Vlad thinks that's ludicrous because Marlon should not command such a high price tag, given the fact that his viewership across any platform for interviews is marginal at best. And then Marlon started to roast him about his pube beard and his hair transplants. So, what do you make of this back and forth and Marlon's assertion that he's worth whatever he wants to charge, and Vlad was being petty and low and disrespectful?
Well, it might come as a surprise to some people, but I agree with Marlon here. Vlad said, "Hey, you're trying to do an interview. Okay, well, here's an invoice. You can either say yes or no. And if you don't like this, 40K figure, then kick rocks. I think that's just business. And for Vlad to, and this is typical Vlad. See, I didn't know this started from an Ari Spears clip to try to clown Marlon. So, and I told you this, he does real passive aggressive, lame stuff. Vlad, that is. And that's why when we were talking about the not like us thing, and he wanted to chime in and talk about the mixing and mastering wasn't good. See, that's the Michael Rubin Inception stuff. It is. It's the same tactic. And so Marlon sees for what it is, that you're trying to clown me, you're trying to shame me, and have me be some type of weird person. At least you're trying to paint that image of me. And so, Marlon sees it for what it is. And so he called this guy out for what he does, the exploiter that he is. This guy here, and that's what I'm saying. He gives these, I made the analogy before that he treats this like the corn industry, where, hey, here's $1,500 to do this scene, here's 500 more if you do it like this. And and while whatever publishing house or whatever company that owns that clip, they can run that into perpetuity and get paid forever, while that one actor got paid for $1,500 for that one scene. And this is what Vlad does on his interviews when he got these people talking reckless, and he pays them pennies and he collects on the back end. And so he's exploiting. He does not talk about things that are uplifting at all. Everything is the glorification of crime, murder, beef, you name it. He runs the gambit. And so for Marlon to say, hey, 40K, I think that's a polite no. And you can pay me this if you want. And I know Marlon would have said, from the way that Marlon's talking, I can guarantee you, if he had got that 40K and sat down and did an interview with Vlad, he would have gave him probably like one or two straight answers. And the rest was just going to be rigmarole, because I feel like he knows what type of rigmarole Vlad runs. So, I agree with Sir Marlon here. I do not like how Vladimir gets down. As you mentioned earlier in the Rubin topic, I feel like these guys move the same. And I believe that Vlad's job and his duty is to be a part of that that control of cultural thought. And he always tries to insert his opinion as if it even matters. But what are your thoughts here on Sir Vladimir calling out Marlon for turning down, not turning down, setting a 40K offer? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm with Marlon too. And my question is, why what number were you expecting Marlon to give you? You know what I'm saying? Like what were you expecting him to say? I'll do it for free? Like, you know what I'm saying? It almost seems like a sand trap, where no matter what Marlon's answer, to the asking price would have been, he would have used it as leverage in that interview to basically make Marlon Wayans look like
Mm-hmm.
a person who's asking for too much given where he is in his career.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't agree with the asking price, then don't bring it up. Let bygones be bygones and move on. Why bring it up in an interview with somebody who has nothing to do with the situation? You know, it's just, he is a loan shark to me. He's cut rate.
Yes.
You know, he strikes me as one of these people who just uses any shit that he can in order to. He has surrendered himself as a slave to the attention machine of the internet. I think he is someone who will do any and everything, damn near, from an exploitation standpoint, to get whatever views he needs for his channel,
Yeah.
even if that means publicly embarrassing people who otherwise didn't know what they were signing up for. And it's that form of exploitation that people should feel uncomfortable about, because why bring this up in an interview that has nothing to do with Marlon? Why are we even talking about this?
Right.
Like, why bring that up as a talking point with someone who has nothing to do with this? This is an Ari Spears interview. What does this have to do with what Marlon is asking for an interview?
That's
I don't
Vlad.
understand what the two have to do with one another.
Mhm.
But this is what exploiters do. And it's why I've never been a big fan of his work. I don't give a damn who he brings onto his channel.
Mhm.
Otherwise, I have nothing more to add on to what you have to say, because I agree with pretty much all of it. Vlad strikes me as the kind of person who, you know, Vlad strikes me as the kind of person who will claim to be down with the cause and be locking arms with black people, and he'll say this and he'll say that, I love this and I'm supporting this and I'm doing this or whatever. But if he had a daughter, he wouldn't even be happy with his daughter dating a black man. Like,
Oh.
Vlad, that kind of snake oil salesman to me, where you can say all of this stuff and you can be like this person who pray tells to be in support of X, Y, and Z. But when it came to your doorstep and it was a matter of affecting your personal worldview, you'd be then your true colors will come out. You know,
Right.
he's that kind of guy. Like, if his daughter shows up with a black boyfriend, or she says, hey, dad, I'm engaged and here's my guy, and it's a black guy, he's going to have a problem with that. Despite all of the pontificating that he does on his channels, parading around being this supporter of hip hop and by extension black people. If it became that much of a personal matter, I feel as though he'd have a gripe. And that person is not to be trusted. Now, that's speculation on my part. I don't know the guy personally. I just don't like the way he conducts himself in terms of his platform. And I will just stick to my guns on that. Sure, what I just said is purely speculative, but that's my opinion nonetheless. People like that just shouldn't be trusted in any kind of way. This is the same guy who will claim to be down with you, but if he gets jammed up in a pinch, he'll tell the feds everything.
100%.
He'll tell them everything they need to know.
100%.
He'll be in he'll be in WITSEC while you get locked up for the rest of your life.
Exactly.
So yeah, the guy to me is just a snake oil salesman. He'll sell you a lemon of a vehicle. You know, you walk onto his dealership, you're looking for a car and you want a good deal. He'll sell you something that's going to break down in 2 months, and you're going to need to put $10,000 worth of work into it, also that he can make the sale. He's that kind of person. Just don't trust people like this. The way he does business is shiesty. I'm not a fan. And yeah, I'm not a fan of it. So I don't blame Marlon one bit. If that's his asking price, that's his asking price. What is it to you?
I agree, man. And I just think, this is similar to the Ruben thing. I think that Vlad thinks very low of our community, and he looks at it in a situation where I can just reach in and make money because they don't know what the hell they doing. And he takes us in mass as ignorant people, and he talks with a very elitist tone. Whenever somebody confronts him about the interviews that he does with people when they get locked up, or they get unalived later because of something they talked about. Whenever people talk to him about that, he goes, they don't have to answer my questions.
Right.
That's on them.
Yep.
That's not coming. The hit, there's no remorse there. And if he wants to proclaim himself as a part of the community enough to have an opinion about it, then you should empathize with people that were in the community that got something done wrong to them because of something that they said publicly on the internet. Instead of wiping your hands clean and saying, you ain't have to answer me. And by the way, I'm going to chop this up into about 15 pieces. And then after they get unalive, I'll come out with a flashback. This guy is scum to me. And he has no place. Honestly, if you, you know, hey, I agree, you know, we understand what hip hop and rap is and the difference between the two, or what people want to call hip hop, but real hip hop. Like, I get that. And Vlad, his thing is he doesn't deal with the real hip hop form. He deals with the Michael Rubin kind. And so he's going to have ignorance on display whenever. Him, Adam 22, they do the same thing.
Yes.
And their objective, much like I said, like Michael Rubin, their objective is to create this pressure chamber where everybody just ends up growing up in, because they control the media of it. And they say that, hey, this is important. Hey, guys, Adam 22 turned his podcast into Jerry Springer. He just bring gangsters up there, air quote gangsters up there, shadow beefing and stuff like that, promoting garbage. The only thing is missing is Steve coming to come break it up. So these guys they're creating this pressure chamber where culture is growing up in, and they think that catching a body and living to tell about it online is what to do. Some kid right now fantasizes about getting to some real street beef so they can talk about it online later. Some kids doing that. I can tell you this, because I used to, whenever I heard all those trap rap and stuff like that as a young person, I didn't actually want to do those things, but I kind of wanted to. So I know that there's some young people out there that kind of want to do some of this stuff just so they can have the opportunity to sit on Vlad's thing and say, yeah, I caught a body. I caught a body. It was in self-defense, you know. So yeah, man, this guy here or anybody else like him, they're trash to me, man. So I agree with Sir Marlon here. DJ Vladimir, you, Charlemagne's, Michael Rubens, Adam 22, these people that are claiming that they're a part of the culture and here to uplift it, but do nothing but exploit and put us in weird compromising positions, they can kick rocks, man. So Vladimir, get out of here, man.
Yeah. He is a snake oil salesman as far as I'm concerned. The guy is poisonous. And, once again, his effectiveness with being able to infiltrate and do what he does is a direct testament to the overall weak foundation of the culture that he claims to be uplifting. So, it sucks. But Marlon did himself a service, because he would be relegating himself to that, muck if he even went on that show in the first place. So,
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, and some of these other people who are on his show that I do kind of somewhat hold in higher esteem. Like, to me, there's a difference between Aries Spears and Boosie. So, like, Boosie makes sense why he's going on Vlad all the time. Aries Spears, I think he can do a little better than that. But I get it. Whatever you want to do to try and continue to get your name out there, whatever. But to me, it's like Boosie, that makes sense. Aries Spears, it's like, bro, I think you can do a little better. But be that as it may, to those individuals that I look at as, I think you can go do a little better than that. I think it's high time that you just leave people like Vlad's shows alone. Just leave it alone.
Yeah, man. And last thing I was saying was that, if he set a price at $40K and Vlad talked him down to 20 or 15, that's a market price. So now you got to do 15,000 for everything. So this is business on his behalf. He don't need a Vlad interview. I'll do one for 40.
Well, that's why I'm inclined to believe that no matter what Marlon would have told him, he would have used that as a talking point in those interviews to leverage it for more clicks, which is the snake oil salesman that he is. That's what he's going to do. It's almost as if it was a setup from the beginning.
What a funny dude, man.
It's exploitation at his finest, man. Exploitation at his finest.
Sheesh.
Shouts out to Marlon.
Yeah. Skr, skr.